Prepare to be confronted with the unimaginable as we unveil the worst footage of monster flash floods, where the desperate screams for life pierce through the chaos. When the skies let loose with a heavy downpour, peace can turn into chaos in the blink of an eye. These fast and constant floods can change the landscape, uproot people's lives, and test the strength of whole towns. In this video, we take you on a journey into the depths of a calamity that pushes humanity to the edge. Witness the sheer horror and despair as people fight for their survival, their voices echoing through the torrents of rushing water. This is an unfiltered look into the worst that flash floods can unleash, serving as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the urgent need for preparedness and support in the face of such tragedies. Are you ready for these heartbreaking events that will change the way you think about the power of nature forever? In September 2013, Colorado had a rainstorm that had never happened before. This led to terrible flash floods. Heavy rains, which were caused by a low-pressure system that moved slowly, hit many areas across the state. Boulder and Larimer counties were some of the places that were hit the hardest. Over the course of a week, some places got more than 17 inches of rain. The heavy rain was too much for the soil to take, so water ran off quickly and rivers and streams overflowed. There was a lot of damage to roads, bridges, and houses from the flash floods. Many towns were cut off because routes to them were closed. Residents were forced to leave their homes, and emergency centers were set up to house them temporarily. Sadly, several people died because of the floods, and many others were reported missing. Several groups, including the National Guard, did search and rescue work to find and help people in need. For airlifts from remote places, helicopters were used. As part of the reaction, communities were given emergency aid, supplies, and medical help. State and government agencies worked together to plan relief efforts and figure out how bad the damage was. Long-term recovery focused on rebuilding destroyed infrastructure, fixing roads and bridges, and putting in place steps to make the area less likely to flood again. People worked to improve flood forecasts and early warning systems, as well as to improve how land is used and how floodplains are managed. In February 2010, heavy rains caused deadly flash floods on the Portuguese island of Madeira. Let's talk about this in more depth. In just a few hours, it rained about 6 to 9 inches of rain, which caused rivers to rise and hillsides to happen. The flash floods caused a lot of damage in Funchal, the main city, and in several coastal towns. The fast rise in water levels caused a lot of damage, including the destruction of houses, vehicles, and infrastructure. Disastrous, right? Roads and bridges were badly damaged by the force of the floods, making it harder to rescue people and get things back to normal. Sadly, the flash floods killed a lot of people. Dozens of people were reported dead and many more were hurt or missing. The flash rains hurt the economy of the area that was hit hard. The destruction of roads, bridges, and houses, among other things, messed up everyday life and the economy. Many companies like shops, hotels, and restaurants lost a lot of money and had trouble getting back up. During the recovery process, money came from both the government and other countries to help companies get back on their feet and boost economic growth. Madeira is a famous place for tourists to visit because of its natural beauty and nice weather. The 2010 flash floods had a big effect on the region's tourism business. Many tourists were surprised by the sudden flooding, which made their trip plans and places to stay change. Search and rescue operations were started right away to find people and help them. During the recovery phase, trash had to be cleaned up, damaged infrastructure had to be rebuilt, and vital services had to be brought back online. Residents who had to move were helped and given temporary housing. The government and local officials focused on taking steps to improve early warning systems, make it easier to respond to emergencies, and make it harder for floods to happen. In August 2010, cloudbursts caused deadly flash floods in the town of Leh in the Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir. Cloudbursts are sudden downpours that dump a lot of rain in a short amount of time. In the hilly area, the cloud bursts caused heavy rainfall, which led to flash floods and landslides. The floods happened at night, which caught locals and visitors off guard and caused a lot of damage. A lot of damage was done to the town of Leh and the places around it. The flash floods destroyed buildings, roads, and cars, leaving a path of damage in their wake. Communication networks were messed up, so it was hard to coordinate rescue and relief operations. There were a lot of deaths in Leh because of the flash floods. Hundreds of people were reported dead or missing. Emotional, right? The flash floods in Leh not only destroyed buildings and killed people, but also hurt the area's rich cultural history. Many old buildings, religious places, and historical landmarks were damaged by the floods. The cultural identity of Leh was worked to protect by restoring and fixing these historic sites. Flash floods in Leh forced a lot of people to leave their homes and things behind because they were destroyed. Long-term efforts were made to help the injured people move and get better. This meant building new homes for homeless people and families, giving them basic comforts, and making sure they could find work. Together with local officials and groups, the Indian Army started a huge search and rescue operation to help people who were stuck and give them medical care. In order to recover and rebuild, waste had to be cleaned up, infrastructure damage had to be fixed, and important services had to be brought back online. People worked to fix roads and bridges so that people could get around again. The government also said it was important to take steps to improve early notice systems, make it easier to prepare for disasters, and encourage safe land use practices to lower future risks. On the evening of July 30, 2016, deadly flash floods hit Ellicott City, a historic town in Howard County, Maryland. It was one of the worst nights ever. The flooding happened after it rained hard and in a small area. About 6 inches of rain fell in the area over the course of a few hours, and some figures say that as much as 8 inches fell in just 2 hours. Heavy rain flooded the system, draining stormwater, which caused small rivers like the Tiber and Hudson to rise quickly. The rocky landscape of the area with its hills and narrow valleys made the floods even worse. The water quickly rushed down Main Street, the town's main road, turning it into a roaring river. The strong river currents carried things like cars, trees, and other items, causing a lot of damage. Can it be worse? The flash floods did a lot of damage to buildings, infrastructure, and companies on Main Street. The force of the water turned over or carried away cars, adding to the chaos. Many 19th century buildings in the town's ancient district were badly damaged. 2 people tragically died because of the floods, and many others were hurt. The rising water levels and the force of the floods made it harder to save people. Emergency workers worked hard to get people who were stuck or in danger out of the area. After the storms, the streets were covered in mud and trash, and buildings that were damaged needed a lot of work to fix them. The community came together, and people from near and far volunteered to help clean up and get back on their feet. In the months after the floods, the focus turned to rebuilding and taking steps to reduce the risk of flooding in the future. Howard County and the town of Ellicott City worked on a number of projects, such as changing how stormwater is handled, making flood warning systems better, and doing studies to find ways to prevent flooding. The 2016 flash floods in Ellicott City started conversations about how subject the town is to extreme weather. There have been efforts to keep Ellicott City's historic feel while also putting in place modern infrastructure and flood control methods to lessen the effects of future floods. As the raging waters calm down, we are left with a powerful reflection of how helpless we are against nature's fury. These gripping videos are a call to action, telling us to learn more about the risks of flash floods and get ready for them. These disasters woke up the local government and communities and made them realize they needed to put disaster risk reduction strategies at the top of their to-do lists. In order to be better prepared for future floods, the event led to investments in flood prevention steps and the creation of emergency response plans. Let's stand together, united in our desire to protect our communities, improve how we respond to emergencies, and take steps that can lessen the damage done by these kinds of disasters. We can make the world safer for ourselves and future generations by being strong and ready, so that cries for help turn into stories of survival and hope.